Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello, you're listening to I Am Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weiskup. We don't have Becca today, but I am joined by my co-host. She has the precision of a point guard and the heart of a champion. It's Hilary Waltemath.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi, Hilary. And, my bad basketball pun is helping to set up an episode featuring one of our NFM home team athletes. We've got these partnerships with college athletes from bowling to like more of your classics like football and basketball and more. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. And you can learn more at nfm.com. Okay, so we have our guest with us. I'm excited to officially introduce her, TK Pitts. Hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone.
We're so excited to talk to you. Like
Yes.
I said, we said this multiple times, and it's not fluff. I think just kind of getting to know you offline. I think that there's going to be a lot of fun stuff for us to dive into, especially what it means to be a college athlete and your home life and all that kind of stuff. So let me introduce you quick to our audience. TK is a member of NFM's home team, as we said, and a standout basketball player at Southern Methodist University, where she makes waves both on and off the court. I know you were a huge contributor as a sophomore. I mean, you had a really big game, 22 points and 9 rebounds against Wichita State. You're known for really your skill and your dedication to putting in the hard work. I think is kind of the flavor that I was getting from, especially your social media profile and some of the articles and things that I could find out about you. Again, we're excited to kind of talk about your journey at SMU, the home team, and what drives you in general. So, TK, I wonder if a natural place to start is to talk about how did you get started in basketball?
So it wasn't my first sport or option.
Okay.
I was a softball player. I also played basketball, but I started off with softball, both young, and I was living in Lubbock, Texas, growing up there until I was 8. And then when I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, I had to choose between both of them, softball or basketball, because they were starting to intervene with each other. And I just knew I could go further in basketball, but I liked softball more at the time. But I chose basketball, and my dad was an athlete. My mom was an athlete. So it just kind of, I thank God got their genetics, and I'm able to play, at the Division I level. But basketball, it has definitely taken me a lot of places that I did not expect. I've traveled like the country. I've traveled the world. I've been to Greece and Croatia with my team this past August. So that was actually phenomenal.
Yeah.
I definitely did fall in love with basketball now, though.
Was that something that like came over time, or like how did you approach that after having kind of this deep love of softball and jumping into basketball? Is it just overnight that you're like, I'm just gonna make the switch, I'm gonna love it, and it's gonna be great?
Yeah, I think it wasn't hard for me to fall in love with it. I liked it when I was doing it.
Sure, yeah.
But when I stopped playing softball, I think just being surrounded by the people I was when I started getting into basketball, really, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game, and that's kind of just what made me fall in love with it so fast and easy. So it wasn't a hard transition, thank goodness. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think just the idea that like a lot of athletes, I feel like, get to this point where they have to kind of make a decision, especially nowadays when you like with NIL and having opportunities younger and younger.
And it turns into like a year-round sport too. There's seasons, but there's so much even outside of that season that you have to commit to.
Yeah, I haven't been all like, no, yes, it's literally like 11 months out of 12 months. Like we get to school in June. for summer, and we go all the way until end of March, beginning of April, depending on how far you make it. And so you get that little time off, and then you get May off, and then you're back in June. And it's just like, yeah, you don't stop.
Yeah, that's so crazy. So I know there's probably obviously devotion to it like most of the year, but can you walk us through like what is a typical preseason look like versus like in season? Curious about just like a peek behind the curtain about what it takes to be a Division I athlete in college basketball.
Yeah. So in the summer, we go about 8 hours a week between lifts and practices. We do a lot of individual work more in the summer. We don't really do team collective practices. So it's just a lot of skill work, 45 minutes a day, an hour a day. And then you do weights as a team. So that's more the summer flow. And then when we get into August and school starts, we're still on the 8-hour mark until September 23rd. You start preseason, and that's when you go 20 hours a week. So it's a pretty big jump. And so that's when you start having your 3-hour practices, your lifts, and it's like a lot. It's a lot more. It's a big adjustment. We just jumped into our 20 hours a week because we start November 4th is our first game. Super excited for that. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's a lot of just mornings from 8 to 12. Your schedule's blocked off, and you got school after from 12 to 4. Sometimes you'll have night class 6 to 9:30, and then you just wake up and do it all over again.
It's your life, your whole life.
Yeah, that's why you have to love it. Like you have to want to do it.
Yeah,
definitely. Is there what do you do mentally when you go from the 8 hours to the 20 hours? Is there something that you have to make a switch, or is it just like, all right, this is it's game time now. We're getting into the season, and it just happens.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a switch in your mindset. And for me, it was easy adjustment because we have a new team this year. We have 8 new players, the transfer, 1 freshman, and only 5 returners. So we have a really new team. But these girls, like everybody just wants to hoop. Like everybody just wants to make each other better. And once you have a team that clicks like that, it's a lot easier to want to go to practice and like have a mentality of like wanting to make each other better. As well, going to the ACC, the transfer is going to be insane from the AAC to the ACC. And so we're all super excited for it. And we know, going in, we're the underdogs and we're undersized and, everything like that. And so I think we just kind of want to go in and prove ourselves to everybody. Our football team's doing amazing. Our volleyball team's doing amazing. They're both ranked in the country. So they've made the adjustment. So we're just it's like kind of a motivation now.
Yeah. You're up next.
Yeah, like go in and make our mark.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps. I'm so excited for you.
No, yeah, we're super excited. Like the whole campus is like booming right now. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Is that like, how would you say, one of the things that I'm curious about, just it feels like college athletics, especially for women, is just getting like a ton more respect and like well-deserved, overdue respect. Is that something, when it comes to like being inspired, is that something that inspires you, or what would you say is, I mean, you've mentioned like the other teams performing well as well. What kind of things help get you revved up to perform at your best?
Honestly, just kind of being where I'm at now, like having this opportunity and just seeing what I just kind of have in front of me, and seeing that I've just kind of made it here. Like when I went to the ACC Media Day, I did that not too long ago, and it was like such a surreal moment for me because it's like I've never done anything like this. Like I don't even know what's going on right now. Like I'm just here. Like they just told me to be here. I'm just here. Like I've never done anything like this, and so just kind of seeing like how much basketball has done for me, and even football and volleyball, like it's all just kind of ties into like a motivation and just gets it gets your adrenaline going a little bit, and you want to go out and you want to play good. Like I want to go out, I want to have the best year I've had, in college. and I think I will, obviously, because, my freshman year I came in a little less confident. Sophomore year, just adjusted, but now it's like, I've been doing it. I'm in my third year now. So yeah, I'm excited to play.
Trusting the process and like getting to that point where you're ready to turn it on, especially like looking at your high school career and all the things that you've been able to achieve. You're capable of it.
Right.
And so it's just a matter of like now you're at this level and you've been within the system for a while, and it sounds like a lot of new people. You're probably one of the most tenured leaders on the team at this point too. So
yeah,
I think all of that is what it makes it the perfect time, especially like as you said, how SMU is doing in athletics right now. I'm sure all of that kind of plays into you being able to perform at your best.
Yeah. Our boys just had a crazy ending. Blocked the game-winning punt against Duke. Went to overtime. They're still undefeated in the ACC. Like,
oh my gosh,
it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just.
It's about to be your turn.
Yeah.
And we're definitely gonna have like us definitely like having a bigger crowd and a bigger fan base now. Everybody's excited. I think it's gonna get us going a little bit more as well.
Lots of good energy.
Well, let's talk about that support system and like how like either like you as like college athletics at SMU in general are supporting each other, but also just what's it like for coaches, your teammates, your family? Like how important it is having kind of a good, big, solid support system in helping everybody achieve at their best.
Yeah, no, I think having that support system is very, very important. Like my mom has moved down here now from Tulsa, so she's living in Dallas now. Especially like I just came back, so I'm in Tulsa right now, and I'm going back to Dallas after this, but just coming back and like seeing everybody so excited for me, like like everybody's just like, oh my god, like they just like, this is our D1 athlete, like that's me. So it's like seeing everybody just so like want to have my back and be there for my journey as well is like definitely like probably the biggest part for me, and what kind of keeps me going. And just seeing my mom move to Dallas and want to be closer and want to make home games and everything, like it's just very important for her, and she's put a lot on the line for me to get to where I'm at as well. So it's like I can't let her down, like
Well, it sounds like a lot of pressure, but I'm curious, like, what do you do to help relieve any of that stress or pressure and kind of stay still motivated and connected to the things that you need to do to perform well in basketball?
Yeah, I think honestly, in the summer, I put too much pressure on myself at the beginning, and I wasn't handling it. Like I just was like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and it's like go. And I really wasn't like slowing down and like taking a second for myself. But I think I learned to do that. I just kind of, now I can just like in between times that I have to kind of relax, I relax. Like, I take the time to kind of care to myself, chill, watch TV. I listen to a lot of music. I love music. So that's also like a big piece to like just me in my own zone type of, vibe. Like, I think just being to myself sometimes is because I'm just, always go and I'm socializing and I'm just a social butterfly. So I think I did have to dial that down a little bit to just kind of like take
have
a deep
some
breath.
downtime.
You're right.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath and have some downtime. So I learned to do that, and so now I'm like, I can maintain between the school and now when season starts and we get into the spring semester and that comes, that's going to be a whole other story. Because I am graduating in 3 years though, so I'll graduate as a junior.
Oh,
my
okay.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm taking 18 credits both semesters, and when season comes and we're traveling, we play Thursdays and Sundays. Yeah, I haven't got to that part yet, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I have found a way to relax right now.
Wow. That's
Good.
so impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Like unheard of almost.
Definitely.
I'm gonna graduate, and then I'll use my senior year to get my master's.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
TK. Making us look bad.
I don't know. What is driving? I mean, obviously, like performing well in sports is super important, but like, yeah, I don't always see like the student athletes like putting this much energy into the academics part as well. Can you talk to like what is driving you to, get done in 3 years and then have a master's degree and all that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, it wasn't my plan at first when I got to college. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna graduate in 3 years and I'm gonna get a master's. Like I was like, let me just get through the school part.
Sure.
Same.
But my sophomore year, then I was kind of like, okay, like, I don't have an extra year. I don't have a COVID year. And a lot of girls I've played with has had, their 5 years and got their masters and everything. And I was like, okay. And my sophomore year, I was like, okay, like I might want to, get a master's. And I'm also at SMU. Like it would be like phenomenal to have a master's, let alone a bachelor's, but a master's from, SMU.
Definitely.
And so I talked to my academic advisor about it, and she was like, it's going to be a lot though. Like but our support system as well with academics at SMU is phenomenal. Like,
great.
Amazing. So like it helps a lot. Like we have writing specialists and they have tutors for every class you need, and reading specialists and our advisors. Like it's great over there. So I can't complain. But I was like, yeah, maybe I want to do this in 3 years. And so I decided to. And recently, this past summer, I kind of found what I would want to do when I get out of college. I want to be a sports performance coach for professional athletes and eventually have my own gym and be a personal trainer out of my own gym. I would love to do that, as well as play overseas a little bit. I think I'm going to use my overseas money to buy my own gym. So that's my plan. But yeah, I was just like, I figured out what I want to do now. And so now like, it's very much like here. And so it's just like, I'm just trying to, attack it and get it done and, get to where I want to be at. Cause now I actually have, a goal outside of school that I'm shooting for.
Yeah. You're locked in on this.
Yeah.
What you want to do next.
And such a clear vision too for like where you want to be. And I think that's fantastic because I mean, when I got out of college, and like I had no idea. And there's a lot of people I think in that like who could take a note from you of like trying to like figure it out and to like go for it 100%. And I see that in you. So I think that that's super admirable and just another reason for people to love you even more.
No, yeah. I was definitely like, and my mom's like, what are you going to do when you get out of school? Like, I barely figured this out in like May, maybe. But, earlier this year, she's like, well, like, you have 1 more year. You're like, you have 1 more year. And I was like, yeah, like, I know. I know. Thank you.
Mom, gosh.
Thank you. And, I didn't really know. And she was kind of, her being my mom, she just kind of like, like you need to start figuring it out. And then we had got a new strength coach, and I just kind of I had gained like 11 pounds of like just muscle. I was just working out for like 2 months straight and just going. And I was like, I really, really like this actually. And so kind of that's where it kind of came from. She just, she got me to see a different side of fitness because I never like, lifted that intensely or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. And so, yeah, about June, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this when I get out. And yeah.
Okay, so you haven't got your master's yet, but like you gained 11 pounds of muscle in 2 months, and like, I think it's worth us asking, like, TK, if you gave your best advice for packing on the muscle and getting into your best fitness, what would you say as a future trainer and owner of your own gym?
I would say the biggest thing for me was discipline, definitely. And my eating habits did have to change tremendously. And that was kind of very hard for me. I think that's kind of hard for everybody, actually.
Yep.
But yeah, I've lost my sweet tooth though now, which is very good. I'm doing 75 hard, so I haven't even sugar, sweets or anything. So
Dang.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
You're amazing.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just doing stuff. Like, I just, like, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do like a 30-day challenge. And then I just like do it. It's just like,
Like easy peasy.
Say you're going to do it and commit to
And
it.
then I do it.
Yeah.
no, yeah, kind of.
I would love to ask then, like this, I wonder how much of this is built around athletics and being in it for so long and just kind of this commitment to yourself, to your body, to excellence. Can you talk about like how what is it from athletics that you've pulled into the rest of your life and being able to um, achieve the things that you want. We've kind of talked about some of these goals that you have. I think the question is like how would you say those lessons, or what are some of those lessons that have helped you kind of mentally stay strong and physically, all this kind of stuff in your personal life from just being an athlete for this long?
Yeah, I think a lot of things kind of tie into, um, just my regular life of just like transferring like discipline from being an athlete and kind of that like with the academic thing. I'm not a like I don't I'm not the biggest academic weapon. Like I don't love school, but I just think that like that competitive part of me is like I want to like show that I can do it, or I got to get it done.
Mhm.
So I think like just like things like discipline and working hard and just finishing things and like doing my best at things. Being an athlete has definitely like fed into my outside life and things I want to do with that, or just like with my health even. Like it's like I don't want to like be like, oh, I want to do this and I'm like weak enough to not do it, like like I just don't want to like fall short, I think. And I got that from being an athlete, and just playing basketball and playing sports. You don't want to lose, and so it's just like that's how I kind of see my outside life outside of basketball is like I don't want to lose. Like, I want to win. I want to be successful. I want to and just being successful to me is just doing what I love. And just being able to just maintain every day. And so I think like that's the biggest thing that has kind of fed into my everyday life, which I'm very, very thankful for. Because I know not being an athlete, sometimes those things can be harder.
Mhm.
You haven't really had that competitive, that discipline, that you know grit and stuff like that. And so yeah, I'm very glad that things like these transfer into my everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you've got all these tools in your toolkit that you've taken from being an athlete and applied it into everyday life. That's really inspiring.
Yeah, no, and they preach about it all the time. And like before, I didn't really see it. I didn't really know. But they would be like, people like even in classes. I'm a sports management major, so like they talk about like they love to hire athletes and athletes. They come with this and that, and I didn't really see it at first, but like now I'm like, yeah, I see it.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah. This idea that you're pushing yourself, you refuse to lose, those things
Yeah.
are very transferable to being able to succeed at no matter what it is that you want to do. And I only see great things going forward for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic. So
Thank you.
TK, we're getting close to the end of our time here. We had so many things to cover, and I feel like I missed the opportunity to ask about them, but I'm trying to figure out the best place for us to wrap up. This episode is going to come out probably around Christmas. So I'm curious, are there any moments from the past year that give you a sense of gratitude and hope as we kind of head into the holiday season here in the coming months?
I think my trip to Greece was probably the biggest. Like, I'm like, gave me a like. I'm thankful for like, I'm just so thankful to be in the position that I'm in, and just seeing life overseas and just seeing, the culture outside. And not everybody's different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's story is different. And so just being, that definitely taught me to live in the present, live in today. You know, um, I love to give back to the community. I'm in BSAC at school. It's a Black Student Athlete Committee, and we give
Awesome.
back to the the community whenever we can. we do, curing kids cancer, fire truck pulls. Our team goes to the hospital. So just, realizing that not everybody has a chance to do what I do. And so just kind of giving back when I can definitely holds a place with me. So yeah.
Yeah, having the opportunity to see outside of yourself is what I get from that, and I think that there's a lot to be thankful in having that perspective, because not everyone has that today, and I think it's really, really important for
So
us
true.
all to like connect with each other, to see, walk the, like, what's the old saying, walk a mile in someone else's shoes, right?
Right.
So I think that's a really great way for us to wrap this up, and especially this holiday season is to think about the
Right.
world outside of yourself. So
Right.
thank you so much for this conversation, TK. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, is there any place that you want to send folks to learn more about you, to kind of stay connected with the team and all that kind of stuff?
T2 Wavy on Instagram, T2.wavy on Instagram. SMU women's basketball, follow us on Instagram. We have a new season coming up with ACC, so it's going to be a lot more exciting, and we would love have support, outside of Dallas and all around.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Okay, TK, again, thank you so much for this
Thank
conversation,
you.
and getting a peek behind the curtain for what's it like to be a athlete in college athletics. So appreciate this, and I want to appreciate also all of you listeners. Again, thank you for listening, and I encourage you to go to nfm.com to learn more about our company and shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. We'll be back again soon with another episode, but till then, remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.